In this video, we'll be using cherry, maple, and mahogany to make a end grain Chevron cutting board. Stay tuned. Now, some of the wood are kind of rough at the edges, but what we're going to do, we're going to smooth them down. Now, to have all the pieces the same, just take the piece, line it up between the blade and the fence, lock it up, and just take it from there. Now, your first step is to ripsaw your wood into fine pieces of strip wood. Now, you guys, if you don't know how to operate the table saw, you guys are starting out as beginners, go ahead and check out my short. I have a couple of short videos explaining on how to operate power tools, and I did a segment on the table saw. I guess you guys will enjoy it. You'll learn a lot. It's a short video, but I'm quite sure you guys will pick up a lot from it. Now, what you guys are gonna do right now is you're gonna arrange your strip of wood. Once you get your strip of wood, you're gonna arrange it. And now what I'm doing right here is, I'm taking, measurements to see if all my pieces are about the same size. Now I'm arranging the strip to get ready for glue up. Now glue up is very important because the thing is that you want to make sure that everything is perfectly aligned together. And also this is a great time for you to work on your design, putting your design together so you can just get a clear image of what you want to do. Now I'm putting this on my cutting board jig, and now what I'm doing right here is I'm getting ready for glue up. Glue up is very, like I said, very important, and you want to get just enough glue on the material as much as possible. Now you can be very generous on the glue. Now right here I'm clamping all my pieces together, making sure that I get that perfect glue squeeze out. Now if you don't get a glue squeeze out, it means that you didn't put enough glue onto the pieces of wood. Now set everything to the side and let the glue dry up for 2 to 3 hours. Now once the glue dry, get your combination square and strike a line so you can get rid of the uneven edges. Now you have a couple of options. You can take it over to your miter saw, your circular saw, or your table saw. So I decided to take it over to my miter saw so I can get a nice perfect clean cut. Now once I got that perfect clean cut, I switched it over to my thickness planner so I can get rid of some of that glue residue. Now, if you don't have access to a thickness planner, you can use a drum sander, a regular orbital sander, and a sheet sander just to get everything smooth like this. Now, a couple of passes to the thickness planner until everything comes out smooth. Now, take out your combination square and at an angle, strike a line. Don't forget, all angles are not going to be the same. Your angle might be a little different. In this case, mine was 19 degrees. Therefore, I had to make a quick change from my thickness planner to my miter saw in order to make that angle cut. Now, once I got my miter saw adjusted, now it's time for me to set up my miter gauge to 19 degrees so I can make that perfect cut. Now, once everything is fully adjusted, go ahead, lock up that miter gauge so you can make your perfect cut on this cutting board. In order to prevent kickbacks, let the blade come to a complete stop. And once you complete the cut, keep the blade down. There's a logical reason why they call this the cutting board. Technically, you never stop cutting. Guess what? We back to the table saw. In order to prevent any accidents, make sure you use your push stick when using the table saw. Once you have all your pieces together, you can start putting the chevron design. As you can see, we're getting close, right? The design looks good. So far, so good, right? So I know I did a fantastic job of putting this together. Now you can sit back and just admire your work and say, wow, this is done. I'm finished with this. But hey, wait a minute. We still got a couple of miles to go on this one. Brothers and sisters, I know you're enjoying this tutorial and I know you like this channel. But before you leave, don't forget to like and share. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel where you are able to build, be empowered, and also be inspired. Now, this is the final gluing process. And again, please be generous, be very generous on the glue. Now, once everything is clamped, then glued, then your final cut up. Now, you're going to take a paint scraper and remove some of the glue residue on top of the cutting board and some of the glue residue on the bottom also. And if you do decide to use the thickness planner, make sure you use caution. And if you don't want to use a thickness planner, you can use an orbital sander like I'm doing right now. The only thing, if you do, it might just take a while. And then in between sanding, you give it the water test just to prevent water from not damaging it when you use it the very first time. Now you start the sanding process all over again. So it's 180, 120, and 220 grit. Now take out your router, your round nose bit, and your juice groove jig and get to work. Now for your brothers and sisters that like to go to the gym, this will be an ultimate workout for you because you're using your entire core just to get this juice groove. Now the juice groove is not going to be perfect. Now the perimeter was kind of rough, so I took out my router and then put a sharpener around the perimeters. And it worked out pretty good. And guess what? Back to more sanding. Well, at this point, there's no more cutting and there's no more gluing. So rest assured, we're about almost over with the cutting board. But before we go on, I just want to add my branding to it. So shout out to Buckeye Engraving. I'll leave all the links and contact information right below this video inside the description box. In order to get a perfect brand, all you have to do is throw some water on it and add the scorching hot iron to that wood. And then voila, here you go. Empowerment Custom Furniture, ECF. All you have to do is add some mineral oil to it just to complete this ingrained Chevron cutting board. It looks nice. I really like it. You can apply mineral oil to the top and also the bottom. And also once you finish with the mineral oil, it's up to you, brothers and sisters. You can add the special ECF wax, beads wax, and mineral oil conditioner. Now once you finish, you can also apply your rubber feet at the bottom of the cutting board. And that's it, brothers and sisters. You've completed the Chevron, the ingrained Chevron cutting board. And thank you, brothers and sisters, for staying me towards the end of this video. My name is Benoit Sherry. Thank you very much. Peace out.